Carlo Ancelotti raising one eyebrow might genuinely be Brazil's best tactic for winning the 2026 World Cup. No, seriously. While other managers are screaming on the touchline, throwing water bottles, and looking like they're about to have a heart attack, Carlo Ancelotti just stands there. One eyebrow up. Chewing gum. Looking like a man who's deciding what to order for dinner. And somehow, he keeps winning. League titles in Italy. League titles in England. League titles in France. League titles in Germany. League titles in Spain. Champions Leagues. Domestic Cups. Super Cups. Basically, wherever Ancelotti goes, trophies start appearing. And now, the most successful national team in football history has handed him the keys. Which raises a very important question. Can Carlo Ancelotti actually make Brazil World Cup champions again? Because let's be honest. Brazil's problem has never been talent. It's like buying the world's fastest sports car and somehow getting stuck in traffic every single year. Brazil has had Neymar, Vinícius Júnior, Rodrygo, Raphinha, Alisson, Marquinhos, and dozens of other world-class players. Yet their last World Cup victory came back in 2002. At this point, some Brazilian fans have spent more time watching World Cup documentaries than actual World Cup celebrations. But Ancelotti might be different. And to understand why, we need to look at what he did at Real Madrid. When Ancelotti arrived in Madrid, he didn't come with a revolutionary tactical system. He didn't invent football 2.0. He didn't tell everyone to play in 11 different positions. Instead, he did something surprisingly simple. He made great players play great football. Sounds obvious. But you'd be shocked how difficult that seems to be for some managers. At Real Madrid, Ancelotti managed dressing rooms filled with superstars. Cristiano Ronaldo, Karim Benzema, Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, Vinícius Júnior, Jude Bellingham. And somehow, everyone bought into the team. That's his real superpower. Not tactics. Not formations. Managing egos. Because let's face it, getting 11 world-class footballers to agree on anything is probably harder than winning the Champions League itself. Yet Ancelotti keeps doing it. Players love him. Fans love him. Even rival supporters secretly respect him. It's hard to hate a man who looks permanently relaxed while destroying your team. And that's exactly why Brazil hired him. Because Brazil doesn't need a tactical genius. They need a football therapist. A manager who can take all that talent and make it work together. Look at Vinícius Júnior. Under Ancelotti, he transformed from an exciting young player into one of the most feared attackers in world football. His decision-making improved. His confidence exploded. And suddenly defenders across Europe started having nightmares. That's important because Vinícius is now Brazil's biggest star. If Ancelotti can unlock the same version of Vinícius for the national team, Brazil instantly becomes far more dangerous. But here's the biggest reason Brazil fans should be excited. Ancelotti understands tournament football. The World Cup isn't about playing beautiful football every game. It's about surviving. It's about winning ugly when necessary. It's about staying calm when everything is on the line. And nobody stays calmer than Carlo Ancelotti. This is a man who has stood on the touchline during Champions League finals looking less stressed than someone waiting for a bus. That calmness spreads to his players. And Brazil desperately needs that. Because in recent tournaments, whenever things started going wrong, panic followed. Against Belgium. Against Croatia. One mistake turned into another. And suddenly the dream was over. Ancelotti's greatest strength might be preventing those moments from happening. Not through tactics. But through mentality. Through experience. Through confidence. Because when your manager has won almost everything football has to offer, players start believing they can too. Of course, there are still obstacles. Argentina are champions. France are loaded with talent. Spain look dangerous. Portugal have one final Ronaldo mission. The competition isn't getting easier. But for the first time in years, Brazil has something they haven't had in a long time. A coach whose entire career has been built on winning. Not promises. Not potential. Winning. And maybe that's exactly what Brazil has been missing. Maybe they didn't need new players. Maybe they didn't need new tactics. Maybe all they needed was an Italian man with a raised eyebrow and an unbelievable collection of trophies. Because if history has taught us anything, it's this. When Carlo Ancelotti arrives, success usually follows. And if that happens again in 2026, the rest of the football world might have to watch Brazil lift their 6th World Cup. All while Ancelotti stands on the sidelines, chewing gum, raising one eyebrow, and acting like it was never a big deal in the first place. But what do you think? Can Ancelotti bring the World Cup back to Brazil,